Hey folks, welcome to Derry episode 5. I'm going to be reviewing that, and on the side here, you can't see it, I've got names of the characters so I can give some a little bit of spoilers. I don't think I'm going to go too far, but just as a warning. Okay. Um, so, first of all, the army side, after the events of last episode where Halloran basically went into the head of the Aboriginal native character. Um, that native character has a reaction after Halloran. That's how the episode starts, with him basically coming out of the mine there. And let's just call him the NPC is taken away because he's all messed up. This leads to the army being led to the famous house from the two It films where the entrance to the sewer is. So there's a group of army guys that go in there. They end up going in the sewer, and well, bad stuff happens. Um, because Pennywise is down there. So this episode, you get basically the first full fledged look of Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård's glory. As the kids side of things, they're led by a false. Gonna look at that character's name. Harvey. Is it Harvey? Quickly. Sorry, Maddie. Maddie. See, good thing I have that up. So Maddie comes to the kids, and he's obviously false, and leads the kids down into the sewer area where it basically reaches a sequence where he converts to Pennywise and freaks the kids out and traps the main kid and his friend Lily, right? Let me look. I think it's Lily, yeah. Well, the main girl who has in possession a fragment of the ship, which we saw, yeah, the last episode, and kind of how that whole sequence played out with Pennywise's ship and how it was broken up and all that kind of stuff in the past. This actually protects her from Pennywise consuming her because Pennywise sees the fragment in the water and it glows and he backs off and kind of, yeah. Um, the Leroy, uh, the main army guy, and his friend are in the sewer. And his friend jumps in the way of Leroy about to shoot his kid running around the corner when it's a false thing, as Pennywise is throwing that out there, and protects him and ends up killing him. So it's sad to see that character go. Um, there's elements that I'm not going to spoil here that do lead to the if everyone remembers the old lady um that was in the part 2 that Beverly, the character there, faces against. Now here's the little thing there, and um I don't I used to have the It Chapter 1 Chapter 2 reviews on there, and I will actually do those again. Um, But there's a sequence in chapter two, again, spoilers, where the Beverly character ends up getting into this house with this old lady, and the old lady turns out to be Pennywise and freaks her out. Now, that sequence there, I actually thought was done way better and way creepier in the 1990 TV miniseries of It. It was done well better, way better, well better. The problem with the part two version, with that sequence there, is the CG looks horrible with the old lady and the transformation. So, um, that character there has connection with this show. I'll let you figure out, through this lore that they're explaining how that goes. Also, there is a little bit more on the um, what's the character's name here? Um, it's it's the one that was accused of the false crimes from the first episode with the kids there. So there's some of that in this episode as well. Overall, it doesn't have like, honestly, this is probably the first episode that doesn't have like a very grotesque part. The odd thing about that is the character. Let me find it. Marge, the one that from the previous episode was cutting her eyes out, she only has one of them that's gone. So that's kind of weird. But whatever. Um, I thought she cut both eyes off from that whole sequence in episode four, but obviously now she believes Lily's story about what's happened and stuff like that, and she actually does find the sequence where Pennywise reveals himself. Everything's out of the bag now. So going forward with episode six, from this point on, we'll probably see Pennywise a little bit more, but still focus probably on the two stories that are going on right now. I seriously, with my theory on the way that this season's going to end, and that is not in a good ending, probably. Halloran himself, for those that know the Shining lore, he'll end up at the hotel somehow. Um, for that, um, how that happens, who knows? Maybe like the what happened in this episode there is kind of basically said, "I'm done." Like, I'm not going to spoil that, but what happens to him in the sewer is just like bugged him out. And so as far as like the army guys and all that, I think it's going to come all full to a head where that's just basically Pennywise is going to smoke everyone, because in the films there's not really any mention of that or anything. Obviously it was the films and all that, but I think because the whole thing here, I think the army hunting Pennywise down and they know about him, um, kind of like stirred him up. Well, he would have stirred up anyway, but it stirred him up a lot to him basically like screwing Derry over. Um, I'm going to be very interested to see how they deal with like the Bob Gray, and there's a lot of mention of the past with Pennywise and how his persona Bob Gray is coming up a little bit more than I thought in this season. And there's an interesting, you know, kind of deal with, again, with the old lady that I was mentioning earlier in this video. But again, I'm not going to go further into that whole thing. Um, and it's going to be interesting where they go with these last few episodes with that. I hope they don't spoil too much, because, the mention of the follow-up seasons, season two and season three, on how they're going back, I think, every 27 years up until Pennywise actually crashes on Earth and gets the circus persona of the clown. I hope they don't go too far with that because we kind of need more mystery with those seasons, right? If you spoil everything now, what's it going to say about the follow-up seasons? But we'll see. It is really cool to see Skarsgård back as Pennywise, of course, in his full gear and his laugh, and really neat. Apparently, I was watching a video recently on it, and apparently the what they say is that um, this started in the COVID year, had to shut down because obviously Bill Skarsgård wasn't initially interested in coming back to play the role, but after that they got back to filming again. Skarsgård was on board, so read into that however you want. Um, So it's not that he couldn't get work. I mean, I don't think that's the thing. I think maybe he just had a change of heart just to see, like, maybe they sent him some footage of the episodes they did shot and at the time, and then he was like, "Oh, well, okay, I'm gonna come back." Maybe that's what did it. But it's just interesting information for you right there. But enough of me babbling. Go watch Welcome to Derry episode 5. It was another banger. And so far, so good with this show, man. Thumbs up. By the way, in the comments, let me know your favorite sequences so far. What's grossed you out? What's creeped you out about these episodes so far? Who's your favorite character so far in this show? Um, so let me know in the comments, give a like, and we'll see you in the next video.